Hey everybody, welcome back. Got some more vinyl, so let's just dig right into it, shall we? Starting with Deep Purple Stormbringer. Love this cover. And living in Kansas, this is something that we see all the time. Horses and tornadoes, but the music on this is really good. If you like Deep Purple, I suggest that. Here we have some jazz records. This is the Ramsey Lewis Trio. We had a request from somebody who wanted to see more of my jazz albums, so there will be quite a few in this one. Okay, this one's called Another Voyage. This is not jazz, but this is a group called Gonzales, Moved to the Music. I'm suspecting that's R&B or disco. I haven't listened to it yet. I just picked it up, thought it would be good, so I added it to my collection. We're going to make a wild deviation over to classical music. This is Delia's Songs of Sunset. And I went to a record store one time and they were getting rid of all of their classical vinyl. And I got this for 25 cents, as with a bunch of other albums. And there was not one imperfection on them at all. So I just showed up at the right time. I believe I showed you one of their other albums earlier. This is Flash. Here's something that's kind of fun. I found at a bargain store. This is 24 Great Tearjerkers, and this contains some of the songs from the 50s that were about tragic mishaps with teenagers. And it contains songs like Tell Laura I Love Her, Bye Bye Love, Lonely Teenager. So if you're into that kind of music, I recommend this. This is Sandy Stanton. Recently got this one, haven't heard it yet. Here's another one I got at a thrift store. This is Lena Zavaroni, and it's called Mom, He's Making Eyes at Me. This girl's 10 years old, so I don't know what kind of guy's making eyes at her, but it just looks cute. I haven't had a chance to hear it yet, but I will. And it cost me all of 10 cents, so I'm sure if I like one song, I'll be getting my money's worth out of it. Now here's a great album. I think this is the second album from the group called Spies. My brother Adam B., who introduced me to this group, I love the first album, and this one's just as good. Get a chance, you might want to check them out. Great vocalists, great musicianship. Now back to the jazz. Bobby Short is one of my favorite vocalists ever when it comes to jazz. This man's voice, if I could sing like him, I would not leave the house. He is just amazing. And the special treat to this album is he's singing the songs of George and Ira Gershwin, who I also love. It's a 2-record set, and if you get a chance, check out Bobby Short. The man is just phenomenal. I love him. Coming up is Vince Andrews. Hey Vince, jazz recording. If you want a little bit of a music lesson, I can name these instruments. This looks like a tenor sax, flute. This might be a straight, I'm sorry, that's an alto sax. This looks like a straight alto. That's a tenor sax and that's a baritone. So obviously a very talented musician here, Vince Andrews. Eric Dolphy is another jazz musician who was very versatile. He played the bass, clarinet, flute, and saxophone. So if you get a chance, check out Eric Dolphy. This here is Ralph Sutton. A great baritone jazz player, Jerry Mulligan. Jerry Mulligan. Love this guy's talent. He's just amazing. And if you like the baritone sax and you want to hear something that's not jazz, there's a group called Morphine. Check them out. The album Cure for Pain is just amazing. Here we have Jimi and Marilyn McPartland. Many of you may remember Marion McPartland hosted a show on NPR where she featured guests who played jazz piano, and she's a good player in her own right. This is the exciting Terry Gibbs Band. Big band. So for those of you who like big band jazz, you might go check that out. Then we have John Kirby, boss of the bass. Good 2-record set. Here's the master sounds. I love these old recordings here. This one here is on World Pacific Records. I love bebop, hard bop, West Coast jazz, traditional jazz, and fusion. Coming up is Harry Sweets Edison, Sweet Endings. Pee Wee Hunt, Dixieland. Trombone's an unusual album to hear solo when it comes to jazz, but if you do it right, it's really good. It's really fun to listen to that kind of music. Another one by Jan Gabarek. This is folk songs. Can't wait to hear this one. I like it when jazz musicians branch out and do traditional songs of other genres and make it their own. Uriah Heep, Fallen Angel. Great record. Gotta love Uriah Heep. They had a song sometime back called Stealing. Check it out, you won't be sorry. Here we have Saveloy Brown with a great album cover. This is called Looking In. Either this is a very small troll looking at a human skull, or it's a regular sized troll looking at a giant skull. I don't know, but it's cool. I believe this artist has done some work with Mad Magazine. Here, just give her that clear. Okay, thank you. So that's Looking In. Saveloy Brown. They make some great covers. I have several copies of this record. This is Photomaker's first album. I love this music back when it came out. The reason why this is special to me is because two reasons. It's a promo. I love promotional and DJ copy records. I will buy them. I don't care who the artist is. And it's from Poverty Records. One of these days I will tell you all about Poverty Records, a used record store located in Wichita, Kansas. This man who owned the place would never sell a single record over $2.50 or a double record over $3.50. He believed in giving his customers a bargain. And we benefited from that because back in the day I didn't make a lot of money, so it was good to be able to buy. This is Willie Nelson, Island in the Sea. I've never heard of this, and I'm a big Willie Nelson fan. If you want a recommendation for a good Willie Nelson album, try Stardust and Redheaded Stranger. Redheaded Stranger contains the song Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, which I think is just astonishingly beautiful. I don't know much about this group. I think they're from Germany. I will post the name of this album up later with possibly a translation, but that's kind of a cool cover right there. Kind of reminiscent of some cheap horror movie, but I haven't had a chance to listen to it either, so I'm going to put that on my listening stack, which is getting bigger and bigger all the time. Now, in order to wash out your eyeballs from what you just saw, we'll give you some innocence here. This is Amy Grant. Have not listened to this record, but I like her voice, and I like her early stuff pretty well, but this one here, I'm not familiar at all with the music on it. Here's another one from Laura Nero. This is Eli and the 13 Confessions. Great record, probably one of her best records, maybe one of the best records released in the time that it came out. You might want to check that out. I got this at a record store for $1, and it's worth more than that. And it's in perfect shape, so I don't know what the story was. They may have mispriced it. Here's another record I got just for fun. This is Tom T. Hall, The Magnificent Music Machine. He's a kind of a storyteller in the country music genre. He does a lot of talking through his songs as opposed to singing, even though he has a really good voice. But he did a song many years ago called Old Dogs and Watermelon Wine or something like that I thought was pretty good. But it's a great album. I love the artwork on this cover as well. All right, here's a real guilty pleasure. This is Lisa Hartman, Hold On. For those of you who remember, Lisa Hartman was in the TV show Tabitha, which was a spin-off from the Tabitha who was on the TV show Bewitched. I think that show only lasted like a season, maybe even less than that. And I have no idea what kind of music this was. It might be pop or disco, but I couldn't resist having it because it's, fun. Then we have Nina Hagen. I love this music. I love this woman's music. I'll be showing more of hers. And also Lena Lovitch. Maybe some of you have heard of her. I will do a presentation on their music because it kind of deserves its own. This is Pablo Cruz. This is Reflector. Pablo Cruz had a couple of big hits back in the day with Love Will Find a Way and Find Your Place in the Sun. Very good group. I wish they had gotten bigger than they were, but you know, they gave us some really good music, and we enjoyed Pablo Cruz when we had him. Taylor Momsen's band, The Pretty Reckless, This Is Going to Hell. Had a chance to see her interviewed on That Metal Show, and she seems like a very nice young lady, but she's got a very powerful voice, and I love this album, and I love her music. Well, that should do it for this presentation. I hope you enjoyed what you've seen. If there's something you want more in-depth presentation on, just let me know. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'd appreciate that very much. Well, thanks for coming and joining me today, and everybody have a good one.